over there.
Excuse
So
the big red dot on my nose.
what
It
happened?
pimple.
Isn't that fun? We grow up.
It looked like Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer.
We think we're going to get rid of those things, and they still seem to come back as women.
Yeah, this one's gnarly. It's just there, and so excuse the red nose.
Well, see, you never know what you're going to get at Fluster Crochet. My normal intro isn't there. We're eventually going to get this where we all have the same mic up, but that's not happening tonight. So eventually we'll get her with her mic in a different color than mine and everything. But we just wanted to start doing this. And so we just figured out, well, we'll hop on this way because finally YouTube decided to, I guess, let me do it. But
Accept 50 followers as valid. Yeah, I tried clicking the invite on my computer or on my laptop because my computer does not have a camera. And it's like, it only works in mobile app. I'm like, great. Guess we're switching it up tonight then. So,
well, I tell you,
laptop. What?
your dad,
Oh,
your
yeah.
dad on. He says, "Boo." He's going to be on there because he's gonna be our mod tonight, just in case. But it was so funny today because I had a headache and I've had one since Sunday on and off. And your dog wanted to come in my bed about 4 o'clock this afternoon and cuddle with me. So she spent all that time cuddling, and then about 6:30 when we had our tea, your me mom and I said, "Okay, Mocha, come on." She looked at me like I was smoking something funny.
Crazy? You want me to
Dad,
move?
dad called her. She wasn't going to move for anything. She was like, I want to lay right here. So I went live real quick and showed her all cuddled up, with me
He
because
loves to
I'm
cuddle.
not going anywhere. You need me. And so it was so funny. It was like she just looked at me dead straight and was like, nope, I'm staying right here. And she stayed there for another hour. It's like dogs are amazing. They know when you're hurting.
Yeah, well, today I could have used her a lot because so last night at the prayer group meeting, um there was a bowl of salad, like a cold pasta salad with vegetables in it. And I didn't think that it could have peppers in it. And
Ooh,
I'm starting to get what Pop used to have with peppers. And today's been
hi,
just a whole roller coaster. And hello, Sarah.
this
I'm not
is my dog,
name.
Christina.
I'll botch it up. Yep, that's
So the Peppers didn't agree with you. For the Just to fill her in, my dad and her grandfather could eat peppers for a good chunk of his life, good 20 years plus. And then my mom fixed stuffed peppers one night and it just didn't agree with him and he couldn't touch peppers again. So you're falling right in line.
I know. I'm that if that like, he could have like I love my grandpa. I love him to death. I miss him,
Oh,
but that's the one thing he could have kept to himself, not passed it down to me.
well,
Because
what was your favorite thing about your Papu? Now, Papu is grandfather in Greek. So I called my
that
grandfather
is my whole
Papu.
day. Oh boy, that is
I called
literally
my
my whole.
grandfather Papu. And so when Christina was born, I said to my dad, please honor that and be a Papu. And he said, I'll be a Papu. So what was your favorite thing about your Papu?
I'd have to say, like the one thing I remember about him. I guess this is the one thing because it gives me hope that I'm going to be able to see him again. The one thing I loved about him is that he loved the Lord.
Yeah.
He just was a he get don't get me wrong, he was not perfect, nobody is,
No.
but he was a very faithful servant to the Lord, and he loved the Lord so much he couldn't wait the day till he met the Lord. Ew, peppers. Um, but yeah, and I remember him talking all the time about, "I can't wait to meet the Lord," and so he just loved the Lord, and that means I'm gonna get to see him one day again and hug him and all that, and I can't wait for that day because
My
he's gonna
grandmother
I am.
was 100% Greek, and all of her great grandchildren called her Yaya. That's awesome that he was a believer. Well, I'm going
Yes.
to tell you a story. When I was growing up, my grandfather was Greek, and he sat there saying to me when I was little, say Grandpa," and I just couldn't say it. So he sat there and said, "Can you say Papu?" And I said, "Papu." And he said, "Well, I'm a Papu." Well, my grandmother is Scottish. And she was a hoot. And she said, "In my case," she said, "I am not going to be Yaya because in my case, it'll come out yo yo." So she said, "Sorry." She said, "That's one thing." So I called her Nana and I called my grandfather Papu. Now, when Christina down the road starts having children,
You're gonna be called Yaya, and if it comes out yo-yo, I'm just gonna sit there and laugh. Oh. Well, no, I was thinking the way I'm gonna do it is Mimi's gonna become Nana because she'd be the, uh, the top dog, the oldest, the eldest person. That's what Nana was. But then you'll be called Yaya, dad will be called, uh, Papu, and I'm sorry if they come out with Yo-Yo, but I'll just be sitting there and laughing just
oh, I'll find,
yo
I'll think of Nana and I'll just laugh.
yeah,
I won't
we'll
take
laugh.
it offense at all. And just like you've done with your Mima was the thing, and you call her Mimi, and and by the way, Joshua is her dad, so and my husband's, if anybody's
Uh,
wondering. But she'll sit there and whenever she'll see me, she'll sometimes say, "Hey, Mama," and I take
yeah,
that great. And
yeah, uh,
I loved about my dad and about your Papu. I loved that he never met a stranger.
and,
He everybody.
I
And
swear he would have enjoyed being a doorman at, like at a grocery store or something, just, like, letting people out and just having conversations with them. He would have enjoyed that so much.
they would have never left the store.
They would have been trapped inside till this very day.
Oh, he would have loved being a bagger and
Some
talking to people and meeting people. He used to go in the grocery store and just he would know all the produce people and their families and the deli people. And it was just, oh, he never he met a stranger. He
he never
just,
he never held back too. It was
no.
no,
Oh,
he was in it all.
I've got part of his personality. I'm a tough cookie. I go get him.
So what was your favorite thing about Nana? I know she could be difficult.
Well, realize, and I'm going to do a show on your great grandmother Lizzie, or my great grandmother Lizzie, your great great grandmother Lizzie, and
Oh,
Nana,
there's a comment
and
that my grandfather sings at the casinos and does all types of things. He's 95. My
awesome.
grand One thing is he loved to sing. This just popped up. He loved to sing, but by himself, he couldn't really do it. He had to be in a choir setting.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it by myself. I sing solos in my church, but he couldn't do it by himself. He had to be in a choir in order for it to work. But he would probably love opening the doors at the casino. I am so sorry. It's
No,
the end
that's
of the
okay.
day. It's the end of the day. My meds
Well,
are
listen, y'all. We're Greeks. I raised my daughter somewhat in the Greek culture, so if we talk over each other, it's perfectly normal.
it's normal. That's what happens.
Those people, it's not, but to us, it's perfectly normal.
Oh,
Um,
sorry.
but your great grandmother Lizzie, which was my great grandmother, and your great grandmother Annie, which she called Nana or Nan, I I love that she was a go getter. She took care of your great grandfather, my papu, who had multiple sclerosis, and she didn't let anything go underneath her feet.
Yeah,
She didn't. She. I think I do it more tactfully at times, but she kind of told you like it was, and she really
she did
didn't care if
back.
you liked it or not. And
I loved when her Scottish Pro came out. That was just the best thing.
Well, she came over to this country, and back then she was so embarrassed by it that she didn't want to keep it. I so wish she had. Oh, I
Because I
so wish.
picked some of it up if she did.
Oh, when she got mad, it came out.
When she was furious at something, it would,
Yeah.
yeah.
She had this aide that used to come in and take care of my grandfather. Now this was the dry sense of humor that my grandmother had, and she came. This gentleman who was just very matter of fact kind of guy. And the day before, they'd had trouble getting a shirt over my grandfather. They had to get him out by lift, and they had to, put him in the wheelchair and everything. And she said, in just joking around, George, we're just going to have to break your head. And the next day, it just happened to be that he got a TENS unit. Well, it went on his face. And the aide came in and looked at my grandfather, looked at my grandmother, and just didn't know what this whole contraption thing was on his face. And she, without missing a beat, just looked at him and said, I told you I was going to shrink his head. That was the kind
Don't
of.
think you could have done that with my age. You probably would have kept me a little kid forever.
Oh, if I could have. You're always my baby girl. That's never changing. What? I love you just the way you are. You are beautiful inside and out, and I tell you that.
Well, there was so there's this one friend I have on Instagram. She also has autism. I think she's an adult too. And I will say she's got me to look at autism as not such a bad thing. And because she's a beautiful person. Um, she's from the Netherlands. She's just a beautiful person. She's a Christian too. So she was giving me some Christian advice that I should listen to. Um, but she's gotten me to look at autism in such a different way. Um, that it's not a bad thing. It's can be beautiful actually. And not
My
that you
mother's been saying to you this whole entire time.
I know, and that's the thing. I know you've told me that, but there's something different because she's on the same level that I am, high functioning. So it's like we both are in the same situation in a way, and we both can relate to each other so much and be in the same world. And I think just having that connection with someone who has something similar as you, and them telling you that, and them just sharing their struggles and you bonding over that just is a lot different. Because not that you, I don't want to like put it the wrong way that
You're
you
doing
know what
good.
I'm talking about. Like, I guess when someone has the same thing as you, it's like with me and dad and diabetes. You can kind of understand, but there's that, like, if I need help with something, I'm going to dad because he'll know. Like, if I say, hey, how does it feel? Don't you hate it when you crash, and go down to 60 or 70? He can understand that feeling.
Yeah.
So I guess just having that person that's the same high functioning as you and stuff like that, and a Christian too, it just helps. It helps.
Do you not see I'm wearing your favorite color?
I'm
Your
black
black shirt.
mom.
You
Yeah.
know, that's why I said something the other day on my 2-hour live I didn't intend to go on. And I said, you know what? We have cassette tapes. Now, for those people that are not of my age, probably don't know what they are, but they used to be this things that the music used to go on just in case. And they used to have this tape, and you used to
Yeah.
put in that tape, and you used to press play, and that's how you would hear your music. Well, I said to
And you
somebody,
used to have a thing of them.
a friend of mine that came on last night, and she was saying something. I said, we're going to start breaking those tapes. We have made 100 copies of I'm not pretty. I nobody wants to be my friend. I'm this. I'm stupid. Whatever it may be that was running in your tape in your
That's a
head, we're going to break it so that you can see yourself in the manner in which other people see you.
because
And the
you could have made 100 of those things,
oh,
and
I have thousands of them in my head. And I have friends. I have a friend over in Australia, Christina.
you're starting to have IBFs.
And and you know what?
I
Hi, Dakota. I mean, it's just awesome. You know
I
that,
know.
and they're starting to. And if you all haven't checked over, if you haven't checked the life book, go check it over. Go check the life book. Christina, go over and check the life book. Go check Captain Doc.
I need
But
that's my
my yes, it's your homework. I'm sending it.
homework.
Your mom was mentioned tonight on there because I sent him a journal. Remember that positivity.
Is this smile? As I like your smile for the both of us, or who's my evening's going good, and
So
if
is mine. Mine is better. Do you remember that positivity I got for you for Christmas for the dogs?
what wait
The
what?
book, the book positivity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, they have one in cats, and
Oh,
Tommy's a
thank
cat
you for
person, so
like my smile.
one cats. And so, um, you know what? And so I was mentioned on there, which I don't need to be. It wasn't the purpose of it. I was just trying to lift up a friend.
Mhm.
But the purpose is just it's an awesome channel, and that's where I've started making connections, and that's where I've started having people start breaking them tapes because I have 1,000 tapes in my head that want to sit there. Well, thank you for your service.
Thank
If you're a
you.
fireman, and thank you. I
I
have
know that's something I could never be as an EMT. I'd freak out the patient, so I'd be freaking out.
I mean, I have 1,000 tapes in my head that I've got to break, and I've
Mhm.
spent a long time in your life too trying to break them. You're beautiful, and I don't mean it's
Struggle
just
with that.
words. You are gorgeous. You're exactly the way God made you, and God didn't make junk.
Oh, you kind of work second, third shift. What would that be called? What would that
But
be
I do
considered? Second and third shift in one? My husband gets off at 5:45 in the morning, so he works the third shift.
subscribe to my channel or hers. Do it.
Yep. This is my editing channel. I have a ton of other channels.
Oh, she's and I've gone in and made her a mod on each one of them. Not that she'll ever come on every one of them and do it, but if she ever comes on, she can drop her link and be a mod and so forth. But if you haven't liked Blessed to Crochet, do it. If you haven't
Yes,
liked Chrissy Edits, do it. Um,
7 in the morning. So you go in at 7 in the morning and then get off at 2 in the morning. That's a very long day. But like, I salute you for doing that
yeah,
because
I
that's
don't.
a tough job.
I don't. I can't do that. I can't work anymore, which is hard
I
because I dictate my fibromyalgia dictates my life, which I'm sure. And I wanted to talk to my other keeper and see if she'd be interested to have us both on because I think it's important to have a discussion of what it's like to have a mama that has um a chronic you know 29 calls tonight. I hope all of them are
yeah.
not
That
terrible. I really
and
do.
the 16 hours. That's a long time. Yeah, I work 5 hours and I think that's enough.
But
Yeah, I'm a
I'm
kennel tech, so
how do you see me as your mom but that has the fibromyalgia? Do you see the pain?
so there's sometimes I guess for me like what I see. Okay, so I'm gonna go from this from two different angles in a way because um that question you just asked, yeah, I don't see pain. I see pain in your face, but what I see mostly is strength because you power through it even when things are tough.
Okay.
Um, Now don't get me wrong, there's sometimes or a lot of times I wish not I don't want to word this wrong, but I guess I wish I had a mom that didn't have
Oh, I didn't have it either.
yeah, like had a lot of the disabilities that you have. Um, I guess I don't want to say normal, but just someone that's free of a lot of a lot of the pain that she goes through. But
You
I
see me.
still see
That's what
strength.
it is. You hate to
Yeah,
see me hurt.
I hate it because I know you're in pain and, um, yeah, I hate it, and, but I also see a lot of times strength because you power through, and there's a lot of times you have power through and you're sore. Like, you came to my solo that one Sunday, and you were sore, and I could tell you were not feeling good at all, but you came to support me, and I appreciate that because having you guys there, having Mimi there, having you there, especially up front that one day, that would have been, I don't know if I would have done as good if I didn't have you to look at, or you just up front, just kind of being there.
But see, things like fibromyalgia and things like your autism are just battles that we've had to face that we can, if I can get on, there's not a lot of channels that sit here and be able to sympathize with somebody that has fibromyalgia or chronic pain. But if we can get on and talk about it and have somebody feel like they're not by themselves and they're not alone and it's a livable chronic illness, but this is how you need to take care of yourself. That's why I crochet. It's because I found out that that's a tool in my toolbox. But one other thing that I have found as just something that has changed my life is connection. I have found that, you know what, if I'm not reaching out to people, if I'm not making friends, if I'm not helping to lift somebody up,
Yeah,
what am I doing?
exactly. It's like with, like I said, with my friend from the Netherlands. It's because she'll send me posts about autism. Oh, I'll be praying for those homes tonight when I go to bed, that everybody is okay and safe.
Hi,
Um,
Mimi. Hi, Mom.
hey, Mimi, I love you. Um, I have I have this degenerative, can't speak tonight, disc disease on top of mental health issues, and Shay and God is my therapy. I have
Amen.
chronic issues, but I do have depression, which is another monster in itself too. Um,
Hi,
here-
Sandy Wandy. This
hello.
is my show. I'll be having her on more. I think we do
Yeah,
really.
yeah. Mimi was telling us we did do well,
Yeah.
but I was saying with the friend from the Netherlands, it's so nice to have somebody, and she'll send me or a picture, or she'll send me like post about uh stuff with autism that, oh, and a home fire.
Be
Oh,
praying.
yeah,
I went to a house fire. It's devastating.
I've never been in one, but I can't imagine
No,
losing a friend, anybody. Um, but having that connection, having her send me post about autism that is so relatable. I'm like, I went through that, you know. I went through that. That's basically, yeah, this is how I feel. It's so nice to have somebody who can understand that, and it helps.
when you're ready, I challenge you to do something for me.
Okay.
I challenge you when you're ready to do it. Shanna's asked you to go on her channel.
Oh, I want to go on her channel. The problem
Good,
is,
good
I
job.
I want
I'm
to go.
so proud of you.
Problem is that I'm trying to gain followers, but it keeps I'm gaining them so slow, and you have to have 1K followers to go live, which is,
But you can't go live on hers.
no, no, we tried.
Okay.
I want to do it, but
Oh
we've tried.
well,
That, I think TikTok just needs to remove that whole feature and have everybody go live, because it would help my channel so much if I could, but I have to have 1,000 to do so.
for those that don't know, Shanna was somebody that helped her. She was a therapist and a mentor that came in, and she wasn't able to attend Christina's wedding. She was asked to, but unfortunately there was a conflict. But she got her package today. I finally sent out her flowers. Christina did not throw her bouquet toss. Um, so she decided to hand out individual flowers and pray for all the
Yeah.
girls thing instead of doing a traditional one. So she asked me to please send off that bouquet that I made amongst many. um, out to Shanna so that she could have that bouquet.
Mhm.
Uh, she was missed, believe me, tremendously at her
Yeah.
wedding.
Oh, tonight I'll be praying. I
Oh,
talked to Mary.
Dakota, let me just tell you one thing. Do yourself a favor. Do not allow yourself to hurt in alone. In my description is called a group called the Lifeboat. Go even if you just have to listen to some of Tommy's things. It will help lift you up. There's a lifeboat group that you can go into, and there will be people there that will support and help you. You know, just to not feel like you're alone going through this. So, I just encourage you to stay connected.
Don't
Like,
be if you just
don't.
lost a friend tonight. Don't try not to be alone if you can help it. Try to surround yourself with people because being alone, it's just going to cause depression to be so much worse. Trust me, I did that when I was having a lot of depression, and if it weren't for a couple of Instagram friends that came to my wedding, actually, I
Yeah,
don't know what happened. So don't be alone if you can help it.
yeah, absolutely. So reach out to go over and check over the lifeboat. It's not shallow praise. I just, when I first went to that channel, it was a channel that I went on thinking it's a recovering, people that have used drugs and are recovering, and I don't really need it, but there, we're all recovering from something, and we're all dealing with something, and the people I have met through that channel have just been absolutely amazing, and
Yeah, internet friends can be one of
a lot
the
of brothers and sisters over there, and I consider Tommy as a brother in Christ. That's absolutely one thing I do. And he got some Valentine's candy corn in his package because he loves
yeah,
candy corn. And I made a joke that there's candy corn for every season here in Ohio.
apparently. Well, speaking of Shanna, this it was funny. This week, earlier this week.
Yeah,
Uh,
always someone there to talk to, Sarah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
agreed. But earlier this week, uh I was talking to Meredith. I told her on her birthday we needed to call, and she's like, "Yeah, well, we'll call one time." So I think it was Sunday actually. We talked for a few minutes, and she's like, "You cook now?" I have to. If my husband,
Do you know how hard? Come in the
I
kitchen, learn how to cook. And yeah,
well
mom. She'd
now
sit there phone
now
like,
I'm
yes, are you watching? Yes, mom, I'm watching. Good
now that
night.
I'm being not forced to cook, but now that I kind of have to do it, I've been exploring a lot of recipes. And if you need something dairy free and
Yeah.
you love
Yeah.
biscuits, sausage biscuits and gravy, instead of using regular milk for like this gravy sauce,
Yeah.
use almond milk, unsweetened. Doesn't taste any different. Oh, that's good. You're going to your parents.
Good.
Don't have to be alone. That's very good. I'm proud of you.
It's why I'm doing my channel is because I want to stay connected. I want to connect people. I want to show you don't just because the title says blessed to crochet does not mean that you need to know how to crochet. I have tried to teach this girl over here how to
I
crochet,
can, my auntie
but
Nancy tried to teach me how to crochet, and I just couldn't. I sew though.
but but yes, she does. But I want people to realize, what are you blessed to do, and what do you need to put in your toolbox to help you through. Maybe it's connection, maybe it's cross stitch, maybe it's sewing, maybe it's working with dogs, maybe it's you
Well,
know
another thing for me that helps with just something that always gives me new life, I guess, in a way, like I don't know, not new life, but just a pick me up is for me cosplaying.
yeah,
Like for me, I guess, because I remember when we were, or when I was a little kid, I we described my how autism weighs on me like a backpack filled with bricks. and it's still like that, especially like with depression, anxiety, ADHD, you know, diabetes, all that stuff. Um, it's like a backpack constantly on me full of bricks. When I go to work with the dogs, that takes a ton of load off me. Especially like hanging with them and getting to play with them. But then also cosplay, I guess when I cosplay, I'm somebody else and I don't have to be me. And I don't feel like that baggage that I carry is lifted off. And I'm just somebody else who I really want to aspire to be. And so that's one reason why I love cosplaying is because it just I don't have to be me for a little bit. I can be somebody else. That's
That's
how
how mine are. Yep. Well, like I've said, um, we're this channel is connection and creativity. You don't have to crochet to be here. You just need to be here. And if I can facilitate that and help do topics,
I wish it was me and not he. Yeah, I know that feeling. I will definitely be praying for you tonight.
we certainly will be lifting you up in our prayers. It's just
Well,
it's
actually, I have a good idea. Why don't we pray for him right now?
if you want to. Dakota, what is the person's name? If you don't want to give that out, that's fine.
Want me to start praying? I am true self. I am my true self. My true thoughts just different than real life because everything is so chaotic around all of the time.
Okay, that's fine. I
Pray
know,
for
like,
Dakota.
yeah,
Dear Lord, we come to you tonight and just ask that you surround your hands around Dakota, and just give him comfort and just give him uh, send your Holy Spirit down to just engulf him in your comfort, as he has lost a very dear friend. Just be with him, help him to have uh, the best night as he can right now, and just just uh, just keep him in your arms, your loving arms, and give him the peace he needs to have a restful night. I just pray all this and just uh, ask that you would bless him and just give him everything that he needs. In your heavenly name, I pray. Amen.
amen. Thank you, Christina. I know that there's going to be people on this channel that don't believe in Christ and God, and that's fine. And but that is one thing from the very start of this channel. It was one thing that I said I cannot hide. It is a part of me. It's how I raise my daughter. It's a part of our family. And so if that's not something you believe, I understand. It is something that I will not hide is my relationship with God. And I
I
just
feel
ask
like,
everybody respects that as well as I will respect what you believe. And so
yeah,
that's it. We've come in a society where we don't respect each other's beliefs, and that's okay if we differ. I mean, my daughter and I couldn't be any more different. If you, we may look similar. If you looked at the
yeah,
thumbnail created at a 2-year-old picture, we looked almost identical,
it could have
but
been
consider
twins.
yeah,
Oh,
because there may be.
maybe.
God ask us to hit people over the head with our beliefs. He asked
Yeah, I
them
feel like
love.
I feel like for me with that whole thing of if you're free to believe whatever you want to believe. I can share my beliefs and all that, but overall it's God who's the one that has to take off the blindfold. It's up to him. And I can pray, I can do all these things. Um but puppies name. But overall, you believe what you want to believe, and if you believe what you want to believe, let me believe what I want to believe,
Yeah,
and don't let me be ashamed, or don't force me to hide what I believe, because that's just not right. If I am not going to hide yours, and if I'm not going to force my belief on you, let me do what I do, and don't force your belief on me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Christina, that's what you want to be, surrounded by a room full of puppies.
I'm going to be surrounded by a room full of puppies tomorrow.
God is good.
Uh,
He
but
is. You know what I say a lot? I've said it to my daughter. Do not put handcuffs on God. Because
no,
once we start saying what he cannot do, he shows us what we can do.
exactly. There's like a situation in my life right now that for a while was looking pretty um pretty impossible, to be honest. The housing market, just to let you all know, is, yeah, everybody's snatching things up, or just the housing market is terrible right now. But throughout the whole process of what me and my husband are going through with everything, we have finally found something. And right now our situation where we're living at is not good. And we're finally going to get out of this situation. And it seemed impossible when we were looking, because every house we went to, or every place we went to, was like a no, no, no. And finally this place popped up, and it's a full on yes. It's going through. We're getting it. So it seems impossible, but God just made it work
God opens
out
the
so
door
good.
ready, not when we are.
Hmm.
And then we sit there banging on the door to force it through. We find out that, boy, it'd been a lot easier if we just wait for God to open the door.
Yeah, it's hard though to do that, just because I feel like to some degree I've told Sue this. Like, it would be nice to know what God's planning,
Oh,
because
yes,
it,
absolutely.
it would just relieve a weight off of everybody's shoulders.
Well, look,
But, well, I know I was gonna say, if we knew, one, we wouldn't have faith, we wouldn't have the trust in God that we need to have. And two, I think honestly life would just be boring because we know everything that's coming.
look at what happened in Florida. We lived in that
Hmm.
place. We were not in the greatest apartment, and we found this
I
place
hated that apartment.
on the on Craigslist at the time, which Craigslist isn't as powerful as it is now. And
Amen. Thank you.
and
Yes.
we I called the guy, and he happened to be a landlord, and he lived in California, and we showed the place. He showed us the place, and we took it. Well, here's the thing. That was 2009. 2013 is not a year when we say that in our family, because
That's the first word.
that was a real not a good year for any one of us. But in 2013, the place that was next door, it was a fourplex. The place that was next door had gone on and off the market, on and off the market, and the contractors, all the contracts for 2 years had fallen through. And the lady taken it off the market, and she heard my mother's story, and we were able to purchase the property next door in this fourplex. We were here and she was here. And in 2013, my
The
dad,
the the house we lived those houses we lived in on Carambola Circle was so nice. Those were really nice places compared to the one we were living in, and it had a pool, so
that
that was me.
2013, my dad, Christina's grandfather, was diagnosed with dementia. And in 2013, my uncle died and her great uncle died.
And then
Now,
diabetes as well.
yes, and amongst of other things, but having the house next door allowed me, and I had to leave work because I was having fibromyalgia terribly. Christina needed me, and I was able to go next door and help my dad a little bit so that he didn't have to be by himself. And then the next year, my 90-some-year-old grandmother moved in there, and I was able to go back and forth and assist her so she wasn't by
You have
herself, so that
two
my mother could go off and work. But we moved into that place till in 2009. God said, "Wait a minute, I have a plan for this place." 5, almost 4 years later, I
Yeah.
still thinking God was, and your grandmother would go next door and sit out there and look at the lake, saying, "Oh, I wish I could live here." It was unbelievable.
Well,
You know how it all worked out.
glad we did that because I got extra time with Mimi,
Yes.
and it was nice after that after, like, being apart for so long, it was so nice to be back together kind of again.
Oh,
Not being apart all the time, but living a lot closer to each other than
there
it was really nice to have that, and then I don't think I would have been able to spend as much time as I did with Nana that I was able to, and I'm glad I got those that time with her.
but there was times that your grandmother would call me up and say, "Mary, the aid is not there for your dad. He's getting off the bus. Can you go meet it?" And if
Mhm.
I had been 10 minutes away, that would have been a train wreck.
Yeah.
Had dementia, so
Yeah,
God, God,
under
God was put in the path there, it, unbelievably. And we lived there from 2009 till we moved to Ohio in 2019. ten
yeah,
years,
lived there for, years, yeah.
and it was wonderful.
I remember when I was still in school, and I think it was once a week. Every night my Mimi would come home, bring me something to eat from a fast food joint, and then
Now,
I'd go outside in the backyard because there was a football field, and I just like watch the football field across the thing and have my dinner.
not every night. I did cook
Not No, no, not every no, once a week.
once
It
a
was
week. Oh, yeah.
a while.
Yeah, because it was in Coconut Creek. But then look at the people that told me that I was ridiculous and that they didn't think I could raise the $15,000 needed for Jordan.
Oh, yeah, that
Was your
Jordan was
absurd?
the way that whole thing came
Oh,
about was just God in general, because I guess that's my rich people giving me are being kind story, because the dude that gave us, whoever it was, that that gave us everything we needed to get the dog,
well, but
we
not
could it just happened like that.
well. Remember that the story was supposed to air at a different time, and something happened, and they moved the story.
Yeah, and then
And
that was
I
totally God.
watched the right time, and not only that, but we raised $2,000 towards somebody else's dog in the process.
Yeah, because we already raised money, but we got the full amount.
And you were
For,
supposed to have Annie instead of Jordan, but you clicked so well with Jordan that they had to give you Jordan. And
and
they had originally teaching him not to lick your face, but then they didn't have to worry about that because you loved the licks.
I love when dogs lick my face. I go all in.
You connected with Jordan. I mean, you were in when you first met Jordan was at a melting pot.
Yeah,
They were having
I
a fun,
I, I couldn't leave his side.
and you were sitting on the floor in the middle of the melting pot, and the two of you were just like glue. And it was like, okay, this is it. I mean, I don't know if anybody has ever seen those documentaries where they show that the vets who connect with dogs and they'll bring two or three of them in. Well, that's what happened to Christina. The minute they brought Jordan in, it was game over. You
Yeah,
were
it was
to
just
the
it
hip.
was first sight. It was just connection.
He
Um,
was, he was an amazing dog.
he was. I
Born
missed
service
much.
110%.
He sneezed on my face, but I didn't mind. Actually, one fun fact about dogs is if they lick you in the face and or wherever, they just lick you and um uh I don't know the word, but licking is a bonding thing for them. So when your dog licks you on the face, on the hand, whatever, they're trying to bond with you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's and you having the autism help. You're a visual learner, and you would watch television shows and pick out things that we wouldn't even catch. And
well,
dogs do.
watch it
Dogs,
over and over again.
yeah, yeah, but you would find things that we go, we totally miss that. But you are a visual learner, and you are a visual thinker. And dogs are visually thinkers. And so you get dogs, and I think that's why you're flourishing where you are because you have a passion and love for them, but you're also very connected because of the way that you think.
Hmm.
You think in the same manner in which
And
a dog.
animals and children just seem to bond to me or whatever. Like it was I think I told you this when Hope and Jake came over this one time, and where you were telling me you were on the call, you were telling me about Nancy Patty having cancer, and I started crying, and Hazel was in her mom's arms, and I just look over and she's laughing at me, smiling, and I'm like, I couldn't help but smile back, and Hope handed her to me, and I'm just like, kid, it's a sad moment. Why are you making me laugh?
If
But
anybody has any, if anybody will say prayers, please lift up my aunt, Christina's great aunt. She was going under chemo treatment for stage 4 liver and lung cancer. So her name is Patty. I just ask that if you can, if you're saying a prayer tonight, please say a prayer for her. Um,
mhm,
so, um, because we just pray for God's mercy and healing for her tremendously. So, we're gonna do this again. Christina's got to get up for work in the morning,
no,
doesn't she?
up for
It's
work in the morning, but like, I go to work in the evening tomorrow,
evening tomorrow. I couldn't
but
remember.
a long day.
I can tell you're starting to yawn, and I'm hopefully not going to have them. I'm done with. I've had 2 days of migraines. I'm about
Mm.
over it. There's a cap that I want to get. Um,
Ooh, I can understand English language.
I want to get a cap that goes on my head that's supposed to help with migraines, and I'm going to get one for your husband too, and see if that helps when they occur.
They-
But I'm hoping. I ended up this afternoon having macaroni and cheese, which is not. This is not at all for healthy food. I had Stouffer's macaroni and cheese, a Coke, chocolate. You have a good night too, Dakota.
Yeah,
Chocolate
train tonight when I go to bed.
and my medication, and that and I put a heating pad on my head, and I had the dog cuddled up with me, and
I
it has the
lunch
whole
today,
family
I
put it in for
I
now.
I had tater tot casserole and cabbage with ketchup for lunch.
Migraines, unfortunately, are a reoccurring theme in fibromyalgia patients. So I'm hoping it can just
I
stay
hope
away, because when they start rolling, it's no fun.
I won't be on tomorrow, but
I'm going to be on tomorrow. Um, I I want to
yeah,
do India. I want to do a show on my grandmother and my great grandmother, because I think it's a great thing to be able to tell you a little bit about who I am. I'm Mary. I'm this beautiful girl's mama, and I am so proud. I'm a blessed mother. She is a total gift from God. I couldn't ask for a better kid. She'll always be my baby girl, though.
I
Always. And so I'm going to do a show on that. Uh,
cabbage, yeah, cabbage and ketchup.
it's not really that bad. And
It's
Joshua,
really good.
Joshua Jones, my husband, and her dad. So I can call
This
Josh.
guy puts ranch on thing, or
And
eats sardines.
um, so I am going to do a show on that because I think it's a good part of me. And then I'm going to do another show sometime. I usually try to schedule my lives, and I usually try to do them about 7 o'clock, because the lifeboat comes on the fives, and that's 5 Central. I think it's Central Standard Time. He lives in Arizona, so when he comes on at 5, it's 8 o'clock my time. So I really try, because there's people from the lifeboat crew here, and I try very hard not to come on when he's on, because I want them to get the support they need from the lifeboat crew.
My husband leaves at 7:45, so then um I like to I like to go on lives and do stuff whenever he's sleeping or gone to work.
So
So
I usually schedule my lives, but we're going to be doing some lives together. Um, I think it's fun, and we laugh, and
uh,
I mean, I have never no problem ever seeing I get to see my child every Sunday, and whenever we hop on over to your neck of the woods, we're not that far, but I have no problem seeing
pretty
you anytime during
far
the
away.
um, and so we'll be doing this. I think that there's a lot of discussions. Having an autism service dog. from your perspective. Um,
I think too, I like to touch on like dementia, depression, diabetes, ADHD, like that as well. And definitely touch on some Pitbull stuff because they are so misunderstood. But if we do live, it's gonna depending if it's nighttime, 9 o'clock for us, and
if
then
we do
if we
time,
do if we do a live in the evening,
I,
I
I don't I don't like to come. I don't come on Thursdays if I can all avoid it. It's a really tiring day for me, so I don't do Thursdays too often. And depending on my fibromyalgia and like my day, there are times I do not come on because my fibromyalgia unfortunately dictates sometimes whether I'm able to or not. So I'm going to do the best. I'm growing this channel, so as much as you all can go in and watch any of the old videos or comment on them or subscribe. I'm not trying to get monetized for monetized sake at all. I'd like to be able to do some things with that, and I talked about that a little bit in my live last time. Um, so there's reasons behind it, but for me,
do.
it's really
I
connecting with other people. Well, awesome. Sub to her channel too. Sub to her channel. I don't think I put your channel in the description, but when I edit this video, I will.
all channel
So
I'm it's my I think it's my editing channel.
yes, it is. So I will go ahead and put that in. So that's why I want to grow it. I want to grow it for reasons, and it's my other video. And you can go watch that and find out because we had a really good discussion of why.
Hmm.
Well, welcome. Welcome.
Yeah.
We're here to connect. And, one of the things, real quick, before we hop off, um, one of the
I can
things,
saying.
one of the things that, I was talking about is, sometimes this whole connection thing, will it's hard because when I was raising you, sometimes, um, you know, I just didn't have the energy to go out and somebody called me up and said, I'm going to go out for a meal. I was too tired. And if friends of hers called up and they were going to Chuck E. Cheese, we weren't going to Chuck E. Cheese,
That's
so that
not
whole
loud
thing,
place.
friends and having an outlet for that didn't happen too much. And so,
Invite me to their birthday parties because I was weird.
yep. And so, this is one of the reasons why I want to do this platform and be able
Well,
to put connection
that
out.
yeah. Plus a
And
mother daughter team is always
yeah,
good.
how can you not win?
Mom and daughter power.
Yes, she has all the blackmail on me. Guess what? I have all the blackmail on her too,
Oh boy.
but I won't tell it.
Thank you, because I don't need that the blackmail
You
stuff.
better not on me either, girl.
I
I
won't.
I love you. You
I
have
love
no.
you.
I love you. So have a good night, everybody. We're gonna hop off here. I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna go get ready for bed. I think I'm gonna go to sleep and hopefully I'm ready to not wake up with a migraine and have it get worse tomorrow. So I'm gonna go do some more resting, which is I guess what my body needed, but I'm over it. So keep me in your.
Feel better, Mama.
I'm trying. It's me. It's one of them rolling migraines, and they don't want to stop. They just want to come on and on and on. And I'm done.
Yeah.
About the third day in, I'm like, okay, I'm tired just from having the migraine, dealing with it. But we'll get through it. I'm gonna power through it.
I don't live with my mom anymore because I'm married, but I did live with them until I got married because in this country, as a young adult, it's super hard for us young people to move out on our own because housing is. I could look for me. I can't even. Me and my husband, we're married. We make a good. Well, he makes a good amount of money, and me and him, we couldn't even find a good apartment to rent. and we're married and we both have incomes. So it's hard for single and married young people in today's society in America to move out.
Well, my mother lives with us, and I'm very grateful for that. You know, my dad is now not with us. He passed away in 2021. So my
Let's
husband's
tell Mocha because Mocha can
job
be a tyrant.
is Chuck's girls, and I'm going to do that. So we have a place, and my mother lives with us. And but you know, Christina was raised in a very close knit family. So when she moved up here to start her new life, Mama wasn't, not for the sake of, you know, being
Well,
over,
and
but
I
just because I wanted to be there as a support, and because my side is so tiny. That's why when she moved up to the area we're in, we moved with her, and because
well,
both
and
her
it
father
would
and I are disabled too.
and it would have made sense to for me to find my own place because, like I said, like I was saying, housing. I mean, like I said, me and my husband are married. We both have incomes, and yet we still can't find a decent apartment to rent for what we make. So it's housing is just crap.
Well, now you also have to look at it and realize your dad and I are both disabled. I can't drive,
Hmm.
and I also have my mom. So if anything happened, I'm going to need Christina's help to assist with that. And so, you know, it's one of the reasons we came, and just to be a sense of support. That's all. I mean, there's been times she's been sick, and mom's been there with a Sam's Club chicken and dinner, you
Yeah,
know,
very
or
nice.
something like that, just to say, yeah,
Mm.
you're taking care of Chuck's girls. You're doing a great job, honey. I love you. And you know, and
We've
been there
always
for
girls.
you know, there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
eh,
there isn't.
You
Now I'm
know,
just one the one reason why a lot of young people or even young married people can't move out is because the housing
yeah.
so difficult and it's
Well,
so
yeah.
expensive to find someplace decent to rent.
Well, when the gas is like expensive like it is, and the food
Yeah.
and all that.
I, one of my best friends, she would love to move out right now. I think if she could, and I think it'd be great for her and her mom. It would kind of help the relationship a lot more, um, but she can't because she can't afford it. Um, she the you know it, the she couldn't afford an apartment, so yeah, I'm getting tired. I'm like I'm like trying to piece together sentences.
So, that's why we did what we did. But um, it's just,
I try to say
it's
the name.
just it's letting her live her life, but just being, hey, I'm on the sidelines as support. That's all I wanted to be.
And spending
And times
time is
that
important.
she's needed a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there's nothing wrong. She's my only kid. I don't have any others. That's it. And I'm going to be there, and I'll be glad to just come alongside and support her. She's got a wonderful husband. I'm very blessed to call him my son-in-law, and I know she's getting taken care of and protected and loved, and I don't have to worry about any of that. And if she needs her mama to come beside her a little bit and give her a little support or a hug, I'm there for her.
Well, and too, like with my grandpa, since he had dementia, I never really got to hang out with him as much as well. I did, but it wasn't the same because
Yeah.
he was losing himself. He didn't feel like himself, and it just we had to take care of him. So I never really got to hang out with my grandpa as I was older. And so with my grandma, I'm treasuring every second I spend with her because um it's a moment longer that I never got with my grandpa and it's honoring him.
I just
S-
want you to know your papu loved you so much.
Oh, I know he
He is so proud of you, and
oh,
he couldn't have asked for a better granddaughter. I know that for a fact. Your dad feels the same way. I feel the same way. Your me mom feels the same way. Yeah. Well, it's different cultures.
different
That's
culture.
I mean, Greek and Scottish. If you want to know about two very different cultures, if you go to a Greek festival, somebody's going to come along beside you and put the hand on their shoulder and squeeze a little bit. And it is perfectly natural and perfectly common. And if I go to a Greek festival and somebody does that, I don't find it awkward because I was raised that way.
Mhm.
But the Scottish are very reserved. It's a very different culture. And there's nothing wrong, but we can certainly learn from each other's cultures. And
100%.
and you know, I Christina will take some of the Greek culture that she was raised with, and I'm sure, you know,
Take
that in
redneck
her life,
he was raised with.
you know,
He'll take his redneckness
you
and
know,
bring it to our children. So
we have a Greek festival in our town, and hopefully
I hope
when that time comes, she'll, you know, down the road when she has to start having a family, that they can go to that and they can see what their heritage is. I mean, it was my great grandfather. It was yeah, my great grandfather that came from Greece. It's not too far back that you had people living in Greece. It was your great grandmother that came over from Scotland.
yeah,
It was centuries ago.
yeah, I know it's
So
crazy. So close to my to when I was, or not so far before I was born. So
real quick, do you remember me picking you up from school and I said, "We're going to Scotland. We're not
yeah,
getting
how
on
the
a plane."
heck are we going to
What?
Scotland? We
And
don't have money for a plane.
I was able to have your cousin and my cousin talk to their aunt that they
And I
hadn't spoken to in
uh,
years through this technology thing we have here. I
and I
picked her up. We're going to Scotland. She goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "We've got family still in Scotland."
yeah, I hope I get them one day because that would be so cool.
Yes, one day,
Oh
maybe.
yeah. Well, let's. I don't even know what time it is, but we
It's
passed
not
the 30-minute
o'clock.
mark.
We thought we
We
just
intended to be on here for 30
we
minutes.
started saying we're just going to come on for a half an hour. Not.
Yeah, no, I knew we weren't going to be on here for a half an hour. I knew it would be an hour.
Christina, sweetheart, I'm telling you what, I'm totally enjoying this
Me too.
time and am looking forward to more of this because this is something that you love doing
I love
and
it.
this is something we can connect on.
Oh,
And
we're getting hearts.
I'm certainly that I will collaborate with other people, but you'll be my favorite one.
I
Oh,
love you.
I love you too. Have a good night.
I
Sweet
will.
dreams.
You
Okay.
too. Don't wake up with
I'm
migraine. That's an order.
what?
I said, don't wake up with a migraine. That's an order.
I didn't this morning. I woke up and I was doing pretty good until 2 o'clock. And it was like, whammo, let's come
Okay,
back.
well, don't have migraine at 2 o'clock.
Sunday, Monday, no, I think I'm hopefully technically over it, but I'm going to get one of them caps.
Well,
Because it's
hopefully,
gonna happen. And one of the times down the road, I'm going to have you go on to my ice yarn website that I like, and you
mhm.
can order me yarn and not tell me what you're going to order me. And we'll open, and I guarantee you
Uh,
it'll be all colors that you like. Now, the only thing you have to pay attention to is you can't order me anything that's wool
okay,
or any kind of thing. It
I,
has to it has to be cotton, acrylic, or bamboo. It can't be anything that has wool in it whatsoever.
but I can order any color.
I know.
Yeah, I could be
That
really sure.
right here is I'm going to get a bunch of yellow yarn. She knows I don't like yellow.
Really torture you with that. All right, well, I do gotta go to bed, so. Uh,
They don't feel like anything like depression or dementia. That's amazing. I think to some degree, some of our food you know, for my dad, he was in the pest control business, and I really feel like some of the onset was pest control.
that that and probably in the military, a combination of both. If he used some, oh, he would come home reeking of chemicals.
So one of
I,
these times, I'll give
if
you
I
some, and you can
if I
go on.
think about it, I can still smell the smell.
Yeah. I'll send you the website. You can go start fooling around with it. Eventually, down the road, I'll give you the money and say, "Here, go ahead and order so much of it," and I'll open it live and never know what.
Ew. join you with that live, please.
It'll be fun.
It'll be an
I
adventure.
love you. If you want to hang off, I'll stay on for just a minute and say goodbye, my goodbyes to everybody. All right.
Yeah. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go.
Go to bed, love.
Alright, we'll do. Alright, love you.
Bye. Well, that was my kid. Couldn't ask for a better one. I really couldn't. I'm a very blessed mom. So thank you all for joining me. Um, please like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe to her channel. I will put um, her 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 YouTube link in the description when I update it in a minute. So thank you for coming on, and we will do more of this. I think it's a popular thing. I think we do really well together. And out of all the times that I'll come on with people on my channel, and I'll go on her channel, all the what times my favorite will always be coming on with her. So she's a pretty neat girl. I was very blessed to um, be her mom. Out of all the jobs I've gotten to do in my life, it's one of my favorite. And I was very blessed to have her in my life and be her mother, and still here to give her hugs and support and tell her how proud I am of her. So thank you for joining me and my daughter Christina tonight. You'll have a good night, and I will try to be on tomorrow, and I'll do a show on my grandmother uh, Nan and my great grandmother Lizzie, because as we say in our family, there's a little bit of Lizzie coming out. So it's a part of me, of who I am, and part of my heritage, and certainly has a part of my go get itness, if that's even a word. Um, if for some reason, like always, my head and migraine is not subsided enough for me to do the whole live tomorrow, I will let it be known always in the community tab if I've scheduled a live and for some reason cannot come on due to fibromyalgia symptoms. Then I will make sure that I put it in the live, and I will reschedule the live for another time. So thank you for joining me tonight and my daughter. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome to this community of connection and creativity. Have a great night. Have a blessed night. And just remember, God is always there. The one thing that I say often is, you know what? It's not in the Bible that God is not going to give us more than we can handle. But you know what? That's not in the Bible. But here's my saying to that. It's man made, but it's very true. God's not going to give us more than we can handle, but we can't handle anything without God. And that's been a theme throughout my life. So have a good night, spread those blessings, and thank you for hopping on.